Hello and welcome back to my channel where we are studying Fourier transforms. So today we are going to see what are the applications of Fourier transforms. So the first application of Fourier transform is evaluation of integrals. So we are going to evaluate integrals in the first application. So we are going to take an example here and we are going to solve that to see how Fourier transform helps us in evaluating the integrals. So the first example, find the Fourier sine and cosine transform of f of t equals to e raised to minus pt where p is greater than 0. Hence, evaluate integration 0 to infinity cos omega t by p square plus omega square d omega and integration 0 to infinity omega sine omega t by p square plus omega square dt. D omega. So we are going to prove this or we are going to solve this now. So the solution, firstly we are going to write what is given. So what is given is f of t is equals to e raised to minus pt where p is greater than 0. And they have asked us to find the Fourier sine and cosine transform of f of t. So we know the definitions of Fourier sine transform and Fourier cosine transform. So we are going to write that here. So Fourier sine transform is root 2 by pi 0 to infinity f of t sine omega t dt where f of t is e raised to minus pt. So I am going to substitute it here. So root 2 by pi 0 to infinity e to the power minus pt sine omega t dt. And similarly fc of omega, that is a Fourier cosine transform of f of t is root 2 by pi 0 to infinity f of t cos omega t dt, which is equal to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity, what is the f of t? E raised to minus pt cos omega t dt. Now we are going to solve one by one. So what is the integration of e raised to ax sine bx dx? So we know from the definite integrals that integration of e raised to ax sine bx or e raised to minus ax sine bx, this is equal to b upon a square plus b square. And we also know that integration e to the power minus ax cos bx is equal to a upon a square plus b square. Now, if you see both the expressions, we have the same thing here. So, e raised to minus ax sine bx. So, what is a? A here is p and b here is omega. So, I am going to just substitute that in these expressions. So, what we have is fs of omega is equal to root 2 by pi. I am keeping the same thing because we are not integrating it, and this particular part I have to write it in this format. So this is nothing but b is omega divided by a square p square plus omega square, right? So this is the Fourier sine transform of f of t. Similarly, Fourier cosine transform of f of t. So here we have again root 2 by pi, I am going to write like that, and we have a divided by a square plus b square. So a is p divided by a square plus b square is p square plus omega square. So the first part is over. We have to evaluate these. So to evaluate these, we will take the inverse Fourier sine and cosine transforms. So what is inverse Fourier sine transform? F of t is equals to root 2 by pi integration 0 to infinity fs of omega sine omega d omega, sine omega t d omega, right? And inverse Fourier cosine transform f of t is equals to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity fc of omega cos omega t into d omega. right? So this is our inverse Fourier sine transform and inverse Fourier cosine transform. Now we have to find out this value. Now why we are trying to find the inverse Fourier sine and cosine transform is, if you see the Fourier sine transform and if you see the Fourier cosine transform, you will see that this part omega by p square plus omega square can be found here, omega by p square plus omega square, and here we have p square plus omega square, here also we have p square plus omega square, right? So maybe we may get the solution by finding the inverse Fourier sine and cosine transform. Now let us go on substituting the values. Let's begin with inverse Fourier sine transform. So inverse Fourier sine transform says f of t is equals to root of 2 by pi 0 to infinity fs of omega sine omega t d omega. On substituting the values, we get e to the power minus pt is f of t, and this is equal to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity. And what is fs of omega? It is root 2 by pi omega by p square plus omega square into sine omega t d omega. Right? Now since we have this integration with respect to omega, so I can't take out anything except root 2 by pi. So root 2 by pi, if I take it outside, I'm going to get it what? 2 by pi. Square root of 2 by pi into square root of 2 by pi is square root of 2 by pi the whole square. So the square root is getting cancelled here. So we have only 2 by pi. And what is left inside the integral is 0 to infinity omega upon p square plus omega square sine omega t d omega. So this is e raised to minus pt. But we want integration 0 to infinity omega sine omega t upon p square plus omega square. So we want only this value. So we will take 2 by pi on the other side. So we get integration 0 to infinity omega sine omega t upon p square plus omega square d omega is equals to, this comes on the other side. So we have pi by 2 into e raised to minus pt. So this is our first solution, right? Now coming to the second one, that is we are going to take inverse Fourier cosine transform. Inverse Fourier cosine transform says f of t is equals to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity fc of omega cos omega t d omega, right? So now what is this? E raised to minus pt is equals to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity. fc of omega is root 2 by pi p upon p square plus omega square cos omega t d omega, right? So now if I see in the integral, apart from root 2 by pi, I also have a p which is free from omega. That is, I can take it out as a constant. So that means 2 by pi into p 0 to infinity, and here what is left? Cos omega t by p square plus omega square into d omega. So that is what is required for us here. So this is this value we have to find. So what I'll do is I'll take this on the other side. So we have integration 0 to infinity cos omega t by p square plus omega square d omega is equal to pi by 2 p into e raised to minus pt. So this is our required answer. So with the application of Fourier transform, I could evaluate these two integrals, right? The second application is to solve differential equations. So we all know about damped harmonic oscillator. So we are going to take the differential equation of motion of a damped harmonic oscillator here. So what is the differential equation? D square x by dt square plus 2k dx by dt plus lambda square x. So this I'm going to take it as f of t. Now we have to solve this differential equation. So first let me find the Fourier transform of f of t. So what is Fourier transform of f of t? F of omega is equals to 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to plus infinity f of t e to the power minus I omega t dt. Right? Now substitute the value of f of t, that is d square x by dt square plus 2k dx by dt plus lambda square x. Okay, inside the bracket, and we have e raised to minus I omega t dt outside the bracket. Right? Now what I'll do is I will separate each term. So we have 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity d square x by dt square e to the power minus omega t I omega t dt plus 1 by root 2 pi into 2k dx by dt e raised to minus I omega t dt integration plus 1 by root 2 pi integration minus infinity to plus infinity lambda square x into e raised to minus I omega t dt. Now if you observe, this is the Fourier transform of a derivative. So this is the second derivative, first derivative and not a derivative. Right? So this I can write it as x2 of omega. I can't write f2 of omega because we are denoting f of omega on the other side. So this is with respect to x. So I am going to denote it as x2 of omega. So this is the second derivative. So I am going to write it as the Fourier transform of the second derivative of f of t. And this is the first derivative and this is just the Fourier transform of the function. Right? But we also know that the nth derivative of f of t, I can write it as minus I omega to the power n x of omega. Right? So now I'll substitute this in the above equation. So we get x2 we have, so we have I omega to the power 2 x of omega plus 2k minus I omega, since we have n equal to 1, I'm going to write it as 1 x of omega plus lambda square x of omega is going to remain the same. Now what is common in all of this is x of omega. Okay. Now minus I square is what? I square is minus 1. So minus of minus is plus. So it is omega square minus I into 2k plus lambda square whole into x of omega. So therefore, what is x of omega? It is here on the other side I am having f of omega. So f of omega divided by this, that is omega square minus I into 2k plus lambda square. Now we have found out x of omega, we have to find what is x of t. So what is x of t? X of t is 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to plus infinity x of omega e to the power minus I omega t d omega. Right? So now what is x omega? We have to substitute it here. So we have 1 by root 2 pi minus infinity to plus infinity. This is going to be f of omega divided by omega square minus I2k plus lambda square into e raised to minus I omega t d omega. So we have found out x of t, which is our required answer. Right? So let's move on to the third one. The third application is solution for boundary value problems. For example, one-dimensional heat flow equation, one-dimensional heat equation, etc. So where all we are trying to put boundary conditions, so there I can use the Fourier transform to solve the equations. So we have an example here. So delta u by delta t xt is equal to delta square u by delta x square xt, where x is greater than 0, t is greater than 0, and the conditions are u of 0t is equal to 0, u of x0 is 1 when x is less than 1 and greater than 0, and it is equal to 0 when x is greater than 1, and u of xt is bounded. So the given differential equation here is delta u by delta t is equal to delta square u by delta x square. So I am going to apply Fourier sine transform on both the sides of the equation, which is with respect to x. So we have root 2 by pi integration 0 to infinity delta u by delta t sine omega x dx. This is equal to root 2 by pi integration 0 to infinity delta square u by delta x square sine omega x dx. Now, since this is the differentiation with respect to t, I will just take it outside because the integration is with respect to x. So I have delta by delta t root 2 by pi integration 0 to infinity u sine omega x dx on my left hand side. So this I am going to denote it as delta us by delta t because this is nothing but the sine transform of u. So I am going to write it as delta us by delta t. And in the RHS, okay, I'll just erase this and I'll directly put here delta us by delta t. Okay, so this is equal to, now this is root 2 by pi. Now I'll have to integrate this. So here what I'll do is I will take u is equal to sine omega x and dv is equal to delta square u by delta x square. So what is du? What is du? Du is cos omega x into omega and v is delta u by delta x. That is the integration of dv and integration of delta square u by delta x square. So we have to substitute in the expression where we have integration by parts. So first is u into v, that is sine omega x into delta u by delta x 0 to infinity minus, okay, integration 0 to infinity du into v. So v is what? Delta u by delta x and du is cos omega x into omega dx. Okay. So now if you see here, x tends to infinity, delta u by delta x tends to 0. So when x tends to infinity, delta u by delta x tends to 0, and when we have x equal to 0, this whole term is becoming equal to 0. So this first term is going to become equal to 0. So what is left is only the second term. So what is the second term? Delta us by delta t is equal to root 2 by pi into minus, I'll take the omega outside, omega integration 0 to infinity delta u by delta x into cos omega x dx. Okay. Now I have minus omega into root 2 by pi integration of this. Now I will again integrate this. I will again integrate it by parts. So what I have here, I have u is equals to cos omega x, dv is equals to delta u by delta x, right? And du is equals to minus sine omega x into omega, or I'll write it as minus omega sine omega x, and v is equal to u. Right? So now again I will integrate this. Outside the bracket I have minus omega root 2 by pi. Okay, minus omega root 2 by pi, and this integration I have u into v. U into v, that is cos omega x into u 0 to infinity minus integration 0 to infinity v into du, that is u into minus omega sin omega x dx. Now again we have some conditions here, that is as x tends to infinity, u tends to 0. And here what we have, minus of minus is plus, plus omega. So, and that omega if I bring it outside, again I have this as minus omega square root 2 by pi, and what is left inside is 0 to infinity u into sin omega x dx. Now again this is nothing but us. So in the left hand side we have delta us by delta t, which is equal to minus of omega square, and this I will denote it as us. Okay. Now I will bring this us on the other side and take delta t on the other side. So we have delta us by us is equal to minus omega square into delta t. Now I integrate both the sides. So if I integrate this, this is nothing but log of us is equal to minus omega square into t plus I'll take log of a. So this is going to be my constant value of the integration. Okay. Now if I remove the log, I'm going to get it as us is equals to a into e to the power minus omega square t. So this is the sine transform of u. Now at t equal to 0, we have a is equal to us omega 0. Now what is us of omega? Us of omega 0, this is equal to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity u of x 0 into sine omega x dx. Okay. Now applying the boundary condition for u of x0, that is when it is 0 to 1. So I will get this as root 2 by pi 0 to 1. Okay. When x is less than 1, that is between 0 to 1, I have this as u is 1 into sine omega x dx plus 0 to infinity, or I can take it as 1 to infinity, and here u of x0 sine omega x dx. So this is going to be equal to 0 according to this boundary condition. So this whole term is going to become equal to 0. So we are left with only this. So that is root 2 by pi integration 0 to 1 sine omega x dx. When I integrate this, I will get root 2 by pi cos omega x by omega 0 to 1. So upper limit minus lower limit if I apply, I have root 2 by pi cos omega upon omega minus cos 0 is 1, but we have an omega down, so I can write this like this, cos omega minus 1 upon omega. So let me write it properly here. So we have us of omega 0 is equal to root 2 by pi cos omega minus 1 by omega. So what is u of xt? Because here we are given the condition that u of xt is bounded. So u of xt is the inverse Fourier transform of us, that is equal to root 2 by pi 0 to infinity us omega 0 sine omega x dx. Now what is us of omega 0? It is again root 2 by pi 0 to infinity root 2 by pi cos omega minus 1 by omega into sin omega x dx. So this is equal to 2 by pi 0 to infinity cos omega minus 1 by omega into sin omega x dx. And this is our required answer. I hope you have understood the applications of Fourier transform, and if you have any doubt, please comment on the comment box. Please watch, like, subscribe, and please share it to your friends so that they also will get benefited. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.